Hi there, it's Sam from Pootles.co.uk. Thank you very much for joining me today. Today's project is this one, and this is a remake of a bag I made forever ago. It was a spotty bag that I made back then, so that's how long ago it was. We haven't had spotty designer series paper, not 12 by 12 for a long time, but it uses just a piece that's 4 by 12, so you can get 3 from a sheet of paper, 10 by 30 centimetres, and this is the one I'm using. Oh, hello Sorrel, did you appear? And off you go, thank you. Yeah, 10 by 30 centimetres, 4 by 12 inches. So, on the long side, I'm going to score it that. Oh, for goodness sake, all the cats are in here. Score it this way. Score it at 4 inches, 5 inches, and 9 inches, which in metric is 10, 12.5, and 2.5. And then score it on the short side at 1 and 3 inches. And actually the finished dimensions, it's 4 inches tall, it's 1 inch that way, and it's 2 inches that way. 10 centimetres by 2.5 by 5. I'm just going to evict you as well. God. Do you know what? When I first started as a demonstrator, my son Oliver was just coming up for 2, and I did my first video. It was either the day before or the day after his 2nd birthday. So I had to time my filming. So he was 2. Jacob would have been 4.5. So I had to make sure that I filmed when small people were having afternoon naps and the like. Now I have to work around when the cats are asleep so they don't interrupt me. Is that ridiculous? Okay, so I've burnished my score line. So you'll see that there's this panel which is sort of kind of out on its own. It's not the section next to this one, it's the one on its own. That's going to fold round, so I need to remove that section. And I'm going to mitre it just a tiny bit. Seriously, the kitten fauna has just got into my Stampin' Scrub. She's now sitting on it and I haven't cleaned it in a little while. Oops. So that's that section removed. Down here, we've got a little square. If I turn it that way around, there's a little square. So I'm going to cut straight on the rectangles and wedge into the square. And repeat the same on the other side. And I will hover and hesitate and show you this in a second. So you can see all of the parts. Maybe if I turn it, no, definitely not that way. So you can see I've got a little gap here. So those are my little squares. They always keep the rectangles straight and cut into the square. Just this one here, just mitre a tiny little bit, and that's so you get a neater close up here. Okay, so that's the one I want. So I'm going to take some Seal Plus on those little tabs. And then I'm going to run some down on the inside of this one. She's watching intently. She is in my Stampin' Scrub. And if you've got a Stampin' Scrub, the wet side gets everything very clean and then you dry off on the dry side. But obviously, your dirty ink has got to go somewhere. And I haven't cleaned that one for about a week. I will be surprised if she isn't covered in Blackberry Bliss ink. Oh. Yeah, she's just smiling at me. But at least she's not in camera shot. So there you go. You can see what I've just done there. Actually, I forgot to round the corners. On this one, I did use one of our tag topper punches, and I was going to feed the ribbon through and decided that was too complicated. So I'm going to use my detail trio punch instead. And just round the corners. And then push in. Use my fingers either side. And that's going to bend over. And it will hold closed like that. So I've got my Just Jade, this is called braided ribbon, and it's got little gold flecks in it, which hopefully you can see, little gold pieces. I'm probably cutting off far too much, but Yeah, I'll worry about it after. Oh, it's stuck to the end. Bow tied. I can neaten that up in a minute. Ish, kind of. Sort of. That bow is in every direction but the one I wanted to go in. Okay, so this is a quick and simple project. So what I'm going to do is add in some of our ephemera. And it comes as a pack like this, and then there are some little sort of iridescent gems in there as well. So I'm just going to pull out a couple of these. They're die cut. Kiss cut is the terminology for it, because they're just caught in a little patch still. Just take a couple of those. And then I've got some Just Jade cardstock, and I've got, this is from the Sweet Symmetry set. And I'm just going to punch out a couple of those leaves. And I'm going to start clustering it all together. And try not to stick it to my grid paper. And then a couple on the back. And tuck it just behind the ribbon so you can't see the mess of the glue. Just tuck it behind there. And that is a quick and simple project. I think so. It's very pretty. It's very simple. Three from a piece of paper. So if you're making for wedding favours, perhaps on a budget, something like that, perfect. Thank you ever so much for joining me. Hope to speak to you very soon. Bye.